did a dictation earlier in Real-Time Coach so that I could have something to show you. Okay, automatic accuracy improvement came up. Okay, and you're asking, can it be ignored or should I select it? Please select it and allow that to happen. Yes. Yes. Launch accuracy tuning. That's fine. Click on run if that is the option that it's giving you. It will allow me to do a dictation in Real-Time Coach. Okay, so now that my screen is loaded in Dictate, I am going to turn on the microphone, and then I'm going to click on Dictate to Active Window, and then I'm going to go to Real-Time Coach. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Okay, so what you're seeing now is that I earned 88% accuracy. I had 16 errors. It says I dropped 13 words. Group of 3, 11. Wrong words 3. Final S 1, other 2. Okay, so this is a pretty good score, though I certainly could have done better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this screen, and that takes me back here to my transcriptionist screen. As you can see, as I have been speaking with you after the dictation, it is still writing what I'm saying because I have not yet turned off the microphone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now, I'd like to just show you correction. So what I do to start correction is I put my cursor at the beginning, and I can either hit Control K or I can click on the correction button. It's always going to say, you know, you need a save. So I'm going to click on OK. In the long history of the world. In the long history of the world. So those are my first errors there. That's considered a drop. And then I can hit page down to go to the next. In its hour of maximum danger, only a few generations. In its hour of maximum danger, have been granted the role. Have been granted the role. Of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. That any of us, I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion, which we bring to this endeavor, will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Okay. So, what you're seeing now is that I earned 88% accuracy. I had 16 errors. It says I dropped 13 words. Final last one, other two. Group of 3, 11. Wrong words, 3. Final last one, other two. Okay, so this is a pretty good score, though I certainly could have done better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this screen, and that takes me back here to my transcriptionist screen. As you can see, as I've been speaking with you after the dictation, it is still writing what I'm saying because I have not yet turned off the microphone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay. Now that I'm done with correcting this document, I'm ready to go to the Utterance Summary. It's going to ask me if I want to save the speech files. I'm going to say yes. And then I'm going to go through this process of listening to everything once again. Why? Because it is so important that we only save things that are exactly correct. So we make sure that the little right facing arrow is to the right. We hit play. In the long history of the world, have been granted the role. Ask not. Ask not. It says I dropped 13 words. Final last one, other two. It is still writing what I'm saying because I have not yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so everything was correct. I'm going to click on correct. Okay, Stacy's asked a very good question, and you can all see the question. Is there any way Stacy's basically asking, is there a find and replace? And yes, there absolutely is. You can do Control F. That will bring up the find box for if you want to find a word. You can also say replace with. So you could type in Maurice Barr to Murray's, you could type in Maurice Barr, and you could change that to Murray's. bar. And you just hit replace all and it would replace it. Now, things like Georgetown. Georgetown is a city name, so that should be capped right away. It should be capped in your Dragon Dictionary. And to find out if it exists in your Dragon Dictionary, you can simply click on the vocabulary editor right here. And then type in what you want to see. You want to see if it's there. So I'm going to type in Georgetown. And there it is, Georgetown. So it should have come up in caps. Is that only possible in edit or correction? To see the vocabulary editor, yes, it's only possible when the speech engine is loaded, because that's the only time that Dragon's available to you. Now, let's say that there is, and no, it's not only possible with with when you're correcting something. Oh, the replace option. No, the replace option is available whether you're editing or doing correction. You can always use the replace option. Just make sure that when you're replacing, you're actually replacing something that is in fact true throughout. That's not always the case. Now, let's say that there's something that that is happening that you want to make happen all the time. We have a feature called real-time rules, and if you click on edit and go to real-time rules, you will see that there is a phrase list and a words list. Let's look at the phrases first. Oh, there may not be any in there yet. So let's say that every time I say yes, sir, I'm getting yes or. So I would say I wanted to find yes or, and I want to replace that with yes, comma, SIR, period. And I want that to be true unless yes or is followed by the word no. And I'm going to add the rule. I'm going to go ahead and add a section on real-time rules to the course for you. I'll do that probably tomorrow so that you can start playing with this tool. It's a great tool and you can create your own entries, but there will also be entries that you can automatically utilize that we've created by default. You're going to need to go in and look at the list and make sure that everything is applicable to you, but it's going to be very helpful. Now, let me address the issue of punctuation. Now I didn't dictate punctuation, so I didn't add any punctuation because I didn't dictate it. You only correct what is wrong between hearing what you said and looking at what was written. You only want to make sure that those things match. You cannot add punctuation if you did not dictate it while doing correction. But when you're done with correction, as I am now, I am done with correction. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and I could add my punctuation. So I could listen to it again. Let's say here, I want to add a period. So if I do control period, it'll enter a period, 2 spaces, and cap the next word. I do not shrink from this responsibility, comma. I welcome it. That's another period, control period. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. Control period. The energy, comma, the faith. Now let's say I want to comma enclose this, the faith, because I need a comma before it and after. I would highlight it and do control comma, and it automatically would put a comma before and after. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that, let's just say we're going to put a period here, control period. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world, control period. And so, my fellow Americans, oops, I'm going to put a comma there. Ask not what your country can do for you, comma. Ask what you can do for your country. Control period again. My fellow citizens of the world. Maybe semicolon there. Ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Control period. And then this is a new paragraph, me just talking to you. And you can certainly do that. And so you'll notice that the text turns red when you're adding punctuation. That's because red text tells the end user that there have been changes made to the text that were not dictated or corrected via correction mechanism. All of this text is going to turn black when you dump into the word processor or move to the present phase. So it's really important that you all be working on correction, because what you need to be doing right now is really focusing on two primary things. I'm okay with you learning transcriptionist a little at a time. If you want to go ahead and finalize, bring in your cover pages, and maybe even, like, let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the covers here. And I did not complete my replacement fields. So a lot is missing, as you can see. And there's some things you might have to straighten up a little bit. Here, I might want to put my name, Andrea Terrio, official transcriptionist, and in for blah, 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 blah. And then witness my hand on this 25th day of October. Control I to initial cap 2017. And okay. And so now I'm done. I can move to the word processor. I can put my name here too. Now I can hit save, and I can do job and present, and it'll bring me into, now this question here, present this job, and you see this open job with media controller. This allows you to listen to the audio again. If you're done and you don't need to listen to the audio again, simply remove the check before you click on OK. And you'll see down here in green it says presenting, please wait. And then you'll see the Microsoft Word document open up down here. I think I'm having a problem because I already had Word open. So I'm going to go ahead and close all the Word There we go. I think I already closed it. Let me just. So when you drop into Word, if you have all of your replacement fields filled in, this should look much more correct. Now, what I did not do was I did not make sure. Thank you, Amina. Yes, I will certainly make this video available to you all. What you're seeing here is the layout that we've created as part of the style. Pardon me. And one of the things that I did not check was whether or not I had section breaks in the style the way that I have in the layout. So I'm going to make sure that that is correct by returning to the edit screen. Now, once you've moved to present, if you want to go back to edit, we need to hide the present file. This is something that is very easy to do once you know how to do it. But when you don't know how to do it, it's not easy. And I guess that's true for everything, isn't it? So I am going to click on View, Show Files. Now these are all the files for this particular job that I've created. Because I did not acquire sound files, rather I used Real-Time Coach, there are no sound files recorded here. But there is a present document. To be satisfied with what I have. Okay, so I want to highlight the present document. I'm going to have to move this screen. At the top of the screen, you see 3 icons that look like documents with sunglasses on. The last one is Hide, Unhide, Present File. If I click on that once, it's going to say the selected presented document is the current present file. Would you like to hide it? I'm going to say yes. You are not deleting this file. You are simply hiding it. Hiding it, I'm going to close out of Show Files, allows us to go right back in to edit it. I do not need to load the engine because I'm done with correction. So I'm just going to click on OK with no check mark in the checkbox. This allows me to come back. And if I want, I can clean up and I can add in whatever's missing. I'm just going to make some things up here. And really, you can treat it like a regular Word document, just moving things around, deleting things that you don't want, moving things around. That's just completely up to you. If you want it all centered, you can do that as well. Completely up to you. And the way that you are going to be taught that a transcript should be turned in is of course going to be related to you by your instructors there, not by me. I'm only trying to make sure that you can create that transcript the way your employers will want it created. So this may be, held at the juvenile court. And then we may want to add a section break here, or a hard page. Control Enter. We'll put a page break there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save my job right now because I want to go and check my cover pages. So my cover pages, also called include pages, I can access via going to View, Include Directory Setup. I'm going to add a section break here. Center this. I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to go into my certificate page, click on Open, select my style, OK. And here I am going to begin the document with a section break. It is 2 asterisks. I'm going to add a title. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to save this. Oh, this isn't in the right font. It's supposed to be Arial. So let me go to Edit. Change font. Arial 12 regular. Okay. If I want this single spaced, I can highlight it and go Edit. Single space. There we go. I can save and exit. So now I've made some important changes. So I'm going to go back to Edit. Now, maybe before I do that, let me double click. I'm going to go to, I want to return to the new job screen, so I'm going to double click on it. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this information in because it's going to make for a much prettier document. I'm just putting random information in here. Okay, address of court and room. I'm just going to put 120 Courtway. Room C. Okay, so now I've got just about everything filled out except for the speaker information. So let's do that. I'm going to click on the speaker that I want to fill out information for, and I'm going to click on speaker information. Now, the neat thing about this is that every speaker that you enter will then live forever in your speaker information database. And I'll show you where you can locate that in a minute. But right now, let's go ahead and put in this gentleman's information. Now let's say that here we don't want it in all caps. We want it in sentence case. So that's what we're going to put it in. Sometimes lawyers, like in the US, they like Esquire. after their name, so you can put it there. The judiciary or firm name, this would be your district attorney, the one representing the state. So it may be, office of the state attorney, or it could be, let's see, Trinidad and Tobago. Juvenile Court. That's the name of the judiciary, and he represents the judiciary. And if you refer to his address, you can put that here. And whatever information, his telephone number, his email address, whatever. And then you do the same for Mr. Brown. And he is with Brown Jameson and Smith. And he represents the defendant. And his address is 130 West Mark Boulevard. And whenever you've had enough information, you can click on OK. Now here, now that's a clear speaker. Let me click on Apply here and OK. And it's from here, View, you can go to Speaker Information Maintenance, and every speaker that you have added will then be listed here, which is very nice, because the next time you do a dictation and that attorney is a member of that case, then you will already have him in your speaker information maintenance. Should you want to come and add all of your speakers, all of the speakers you know about at any given time, you can do that from the speaker information maintenance as well.